was actually streaming a little bit earlier today. So his deck, you know, he loves a green deck more than most.
Yeah.
And this one, well, apparently okay.
It's not bad. I actually have an interesting story about Kibler.
Ooh, do tell.
About a couple of years ago, I think it was the Pro Tour that he won, Pro Tour Austin.
Okay.
We're waiting in line outside of a Starbucks, outside the event center. It's in between rounds. And we're waiting in line. We're talking about our decks and stuff. And we walk up to the counter, and Kibler orders a venti frappuccino. And he pulls out his wallet to pay for it, and he gives her a credit card. And I look at his wallet, and there's a picture of a baby picture in his wallet. And I'm like, oh, it's a cute baby. Is that your nephew or something? He's like, no, that's me. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's me as a baby. And he starts flipping through the pictures, and there's like a couple of pictures of him as a baby. And I'm like, well, why do you, I've never heard it, that's weird. Why do you carry around baby pictures of yourself? And he's like, well, I often get asked, have I always been this cute? So I like having photographic evidence. And I just remember thinking, that's so weird. I never heard of someone doing that before, but you know, that's Kibler, you know?
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Here we go. We got green black ooze starting out with a Deathrite Shaman, which isn't going to do much if you don't have Tracker's Instinct. You know, you can't really generate any advantage here. And then he's a Lotless Roll, which is actually a really important card in this matchup because he wants to be able to put a lot of pressure on the Hexproof deck before it can really get going. And Lotless Roll can definitely do that.
No pants here for the Invisible Stalker.
Well, I think we're going to see a Geist. If we see a Geist here, it's pretty fine.
Okay.
And there we go. And I think he has a Savagery too. So exactly what Alan wants to do. He wants to go turn 3 Hexproof, turn 2 Hexproof, turn 3 Hexproof, and then Savagery on turn 4.
So we'll see if Ben and the green-black ooze deck can actually keep up. Taking a look at Ben's deck list really quickly here. Very similar to what Brian has been preaching about in his articles. You do have 3 copies of Moving Wall Tracker to go along with those Arbor Elves, a couple copies of Deathrite Shaman, Strangleroot Geist, Lotless Troll, Dragmangler, Predator Ooze, Wolfir Avenger, Deadbridge Goliath, a couple removal spells in Tragic Slip Ultimate Price, a couple of Rancors, and 2 copies of Garrett Relentless. As we are going to see another Lotless Troll here that does have a Rancor on it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if Ben would have been better off putting the Rancor on the Deathrite Shaman and swinging in. Just because I don't expect Alan to block there, and it's a little more damage. And, you know, given what's going on here, he really has to try to erase him as fast as possible. So now it's going to be, you know, he's going to drop him down to 5.
6, he's going to attack for 10 here. And he's going to get in there with the Geist.
10,
Is he going to get in
12,
with the Geist?
Steps to 5.
I'm a little surprised. Would you have Savageried the Stalker or the Geist?
I definitely Savagery the Geist there because now you just can't attack.
Yeah. It's a bit surprising of a target there for the increasing
now
Savagery.
He has a second Rancor.
I think if you're blocking with the Geist, you're probably... you might be winning, but maybe not. I mean, this deck, again, isn't meant to be aggressive as possible. It's meant to attack. And well, every time I see it back on defense or playing a little timidly, I don't like what I see.
Yeah, well, the thing is that Alan's still in a good position here because he can still... depends on how aggressive Ben is. So he's going to keep the Deathrite Shaman back to block. He's a Garrick, makes a dude.
And I can't fight anything. We could fight one of its own creatures to flip it, but...
If Alan has a Pants here, he's going to be able to kill Ben because he has the Angel for flying, the 6 damage from the Invisible Stalker, which is 10, and Ben's at 11, so he just needs an enchantment here. Either a Rancor or a Theor Armor or Celestial Charm.
I think he has Celestial Charm in his hand. If that's true, that's going to do the trick. And
yeah,
you see
that should be it.
He's coming in with both guys. This signifies that he probably has something to finish this off with. You see the Wolf token jump in front here. You see the Celestial Charm there on the Angel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Problem is, there's just... Ben's deck just wasn't fast enough this game. Increasing Savagery is just too good. Alan had the perfect draw. He had the Geist and the Invisible Stalker and the turn 4 Savagery. So not much Ben's deck can do. So we're off to game 3 now.
We're going to be off to game 2.
Game 2.
Yeah. Alan up a game here with his Matt Hexproof deck, but we're actually going to cut back to the booth really quickly because, Osif, I know it's your first time here. It is trivia time.
Trivia time.
And so what we do here when we're in the Open Series is during the quarterfinals, we ask our viewers at home a question. I like to lob them a couple softballs. We don't make it too tough very often unless we're playing Name That Nephilim. And we just ask a simple question and they can interact with us at home, win 3 months of free premium. So to do that, all I'm going to do is ask you guys a question, log on to Twitter, submit your answer with the hashtag SCGPremium. With the correct answer, we'll draw from one correct winner.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
So I'm going to toss the first softball. You get the next one tomorrow. Don't forget. All right?
Okay.
That's on you. In the Baggett Hexproof deck, there is a 1-mana enchantment. It costs actually 1 blue that you won't find a ton of copies of. But when it does connect with the opponent, it does draw a card. If you're able to name that enchantment, write the answer with hashtag SCGPremium, and you'll be a winner. Again, in Alan Baggett's deck, he's playing the 1-mana blue enchantment. Enchant target creature. When it does hit them, they're able to draw a card. And if you were to name that card, you put the name along with the hashtag of SCG Premium. We'll draw from one of the people who does get it correct. Don't think I could ask an easier question without actually giving the name away of the card.
Yes, it is a tough question.
Yeah, so I give a little curious the answer.
I am curious to see if anyone can figure out.
It's going to be pretty difficult. But yeah, we're a little softball to start the day. I'm sure Osa will have a tough one for you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
At least I hope.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, make them earn it. You're going to give away the 6 months. I'm giving away the 3.
Yeah,
so.
6 months is going to be tough.
But moving on to the sideboard here, got Ben's deck list in front of me. Obviously playing the Ooze deck here. He's going to be sideboarding in, hopefully some help for himself. I see 2 copies of Golgari Charm. The Destroy Enchantment mode is going to be big on that. -1 actually, pretty big deal against Invisible Stalker as well. 2 copies of Tribute to Hunger, which are going to be a big deal. We're also going to find 1 copy of Wolfer Avenger. But the other cards that he has in his sideboard, 2 Appetite for Brains, Deathrite Shaman, Dragmangler, Duress actually is okay. Sever the Bloodline. A lot of the other options you have aren't great, but expect to see those 2 charms and those 2 tributes moving in here.
As far as Alan's deck, you know, there's not much he wants to take out in this matchup. I think a Feeling of Dread might be fine, just because it's going to come down to a race, and you know, I think that card might be a little bit better than Nightheart Pilgrim, because he's got to expect that Ben's probably has cards like Tragic Slip and you know, other removal spells. I think the biggest card Alan has to be afraid of is Tribute to Hunger, but there's not much he can really have in his sideboard against that. And he might want to bring in the Nightheart Pilgrim just as another creature that has the potential to sack. So going turn 2 Pilgrim, turn 3 Geist of St. Traft is pretty good. It's the same thing as our Feeling of Dread in terms of allowing him to win the race, but it's also protection against a Tribute to Hunger. So wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of programs come in, maybe in place of one of the Curiosities. But again, he can't really afford to board out a lot of his enchantments. I could see maybe cutting a Curiosity and a Selesnya Charm for some of the Pilgrims. But beyond that, his deck's pretty much geared to beat a green-black deck.
Again, the thing that is tough with that Ban Hexproof deck, it is a very lethal deck and it's very good at killing the opponent, but it is a deck that is based around creatures, enchant creatures, and that's about it. Basically a combo deck that attacks you. So it is very difficult to sideboard without, you know, ruining your engine.
Yeah,
you have to be very careful with that.
You don't want to dilute your deck too much where you obviously can't board out any of your hexproof creatures, but you also don't want to board out all of the pants that make them that effective. Yeah. Because especially against a deck like green black, they're going to be able to gum up the ground for the Geist of St. Traft, and they could also outrace an Invisible Stalker with just a Rancor on it. So you kind of want to make sure that you're not diluting your deck too much.
We do see both players are going to keep 7 cards here. Ben Wallace starts off with an Arbor Elf to go along with that Forest, and you're going to see Alan fix his mana there with an Abundant Growth. Taking a look at his hand, you do see a Feeling of Dread. We thought he would board in. He did draw a Rancor off of that Abundant Growth, and he's going to kick it back to Ben for his second turn.
And you know, it looks like Alan has exactly the cards he wants. He has a Feeling of Dread to help him win the race. He has a Geist of St. Traft and a Rancor to actually put pressure on Ben. The only thing I'd be afraid of here is a Tribute to Hunger.
Predator Ooze hits play here for Ben, a card that has not seen a ton of constructed play, excuse me, but this is the one home for it. Unsurprisingly, Brian has found it, and it can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
As you guys do see it on the screen, they're indestructible, always growing, getting bigger and bigger, much better with a Rancor.
have a Rancor here. We still don't see any black mana from Ben.
Oh, you can't stop
I
now.
would not cast Feeling of Dread.
Ooh, we are in feeling. That's a surprise to me.
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe mid-combat he wants to stop. Yeah, that's not really going to do much.
Yeah, so he gets Feeling of Dread, and in response, Ben is going to activate the Arbor Elf, untap the Force, and just say go, so it prevents an attack.
I kind of don't like that play because Alan knows Ben has Tribute to Hunger. And, you know, if your plan is to go turn 3 Geist of St. Traft, and then turn 4 Rancor it up and attack, you have a Feeling of Dread later in the game where you can, you know, slow things down. I think he kind of wanted to play a Celestial Charm and make a 2/2 creature to give himself some protection against Tribute to Hunger.
Sure.
Because, you know, it would be perfect. You know, Ben would have attacked with the Predator Ooze. He probably doesn't do anything else that turn because, you know, he didn't cast anything other than cast a Guildgate. So he could have made a 2/2 with a Celestial Charm token, attacked with it on his turn, then played the Geist, and now he has protection against Tribute to Hunger. Now, there's a chance Ben doesn't have the Tribute, but if he does, it's pretty bad for Alan.
And it looks like he does make it through the turn without him having it. Again, Ben can have it here and waiting for Alan to maybe put some enchantments on that Geist of St. Traft and then killing it.
But again, Celestial Charm is fine there. So as long as he keeps 2 mana up.
And here's the Rancor.
I really hope. I mean, I'd have to imagine that if Ben had the Tribute to Hunger, he would have cast it while Alan was tapped out.
Yeah.
Because he knows about Celestial Charm.
And there's our Avacyn's Pilgrim.
And now, you know, he can't. If he has it, he's going to try to cast it in response. But clearly, he doesn't have it. So.
And here comes Geist. It is a 4/2 Trampler right now, and you're going to get the Angel token coming in as well. So some pants have been put on it, and the beatdowns are being put on, and now it's a race of Geist of St. Traft versus the Predator Ooze. And from what I've seen, this is a race that Geist of St. Traft normally does win.
Yeah, I don't think this is a race that. But Ben's main chance of winning was Tribute to Hunger on turn 4, while Alan was tapped out.
And we do see Avacyn's Pilgrim jumping in the way here. Does this lead to some sort of pump spell? And he's just going to let this go. Okay. And so what this is signifying right now, actually, as you're going to resolve the damage here, is I smell a Golgari Charm coming. And it's going to be for the -1/-1 effect to clear out Avacyn's Pilgrim and the Geist. But bad news is the Selesnya Charm. So 1 charm for another. Let's see the Angel token go away. And that's going to be Alan's turn. And Alan, most importantly, ends the turn having Geist of St. Traft in play.
So Alan, you know, didn't play around the Tribute to Hunger, but not playing around it helped him survive the Golgari Charm there. Yeah. So ended up working out for him.
We're going to see an Overgrown Tomb come into play untapped here. Trying to figure out what kind of big mana spell that we could end up seeing here.
We have a Silver Heart or something?
No Silver Hearts in the deck list. I know they have each other's deck list as well. Just looking for a 5 mana card. We're going to see a Dreg Mangler. Maybe he just has 2 spells to play this turn.
Maybe he wants to hold up ultimate price in case Silverwood Paladin.
Sure. Mana curve on this deck is incredibly low. It's a deck that does only play 22 lands as well, and you are going to see an attack here with the Predator Ooze and the Dreg Mangler. So again, Ben being very, very aggressive, playing defense against this deck. Not always easy.
No.
And racing it in certain situations is where you're going to want to be.
Hoping Alan doesn't have a pump spell or an enchantment. It's pretty much the only thing that can win him the game right now.
We're going to see an abundant growth here.
Here's another draw step.
What does that net us?
He has he does have a Celestial Charm, so it looks like he might be able to win this turn.
So this is an attack for 4. Angel token's going to make it 8. Celestial Charm's going to make it 10. So it looks like he's going to be a point short.
He's still up. He doesn't have enough yet. So it looks like he might just attack for 8 and then Feeling of Dread the attackers and then win next turn.
Ah, that's actually the card I forgot that he had. He's Feeling Dread in his graveyard. You're going to see an ultimate price here on the token. Yeah.
Which is fine. It doesn't really slow down the curve, the number of turns it's going to take Alan to kill him. I think Alan wants to play this Temple Garden untapped so that he has Selesnya Charm as protection against Tribute to Hunger and can still cast Feeling of Dread.
Yeah.
But he decides to play it tapped. So we'll see what happens there. If Ben top decks the Tribute to Hunger, he's back in it because Alan will almost assuredly cast Feeling of Dread, leaving himself with only 1 mana up.
Yep. And you can make a reason for Alan playing that Temple Garden tapped. He's a little bit scared. He's at 6 life. Temple Garden on tap puts him at 4.
But with no card in Ben's hand, he should know his list that there's really no haste creature that he can have that's going to be able to do 4 to him. And he has to know that he has to play around. Tribute to Hunger, I believe, is probably the only out here.
Yeah. And there are only 2 copies of that here. And you are going to see... Did we get to attack here? Oh, my.
But,
That's going to exile that.
Interesting.
I think he forgot that he had Feeling of Dread in his graveyard. Maybe he wants to use it proactively as an attacker. As you see, that was very risky.
Yeah.
You're going to see Strangleroot Geist. Your Predator Roost is going to bite the dust. It is exiled. You're going to see Strangleroot Geist is the card that Ben did draw for the turn. And there's that. You can see a Rancor on it as well, but I mean, right now he's staring at a lethal attack already.
The attack is lethal, so.
I'm feeling Dread's just going to put it over the top, so long as Alan remembers that he has it in his graveyard. Because actually the attack is short by a point. 4 minus 2 is 2, and plus 4 is 6.
I think, no, I believe...
Or it's a 2-1.
It's a
2-1.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not a 3-2. So it's actually exactly enough. Yep, and that's it.
That's game.
So Alan Baggett, a deep breath, a large sigh, and moving on.
And again, he got really lucky there because by not playing the Temple Garden untapped, he exposed himself to Tribute to Hunger. So if Ben has a Tribute to Hunger, he probably wins that game.
Yep. As long as
really,
he plays his cards right.
It's one of those things where, you have an out to his sideboard card.
Yeah.
So just figure that out. And, if you cast Feeling of Dread, there's no reason to have to play that aggressively. Because, I know you want to use the Feeling of Dread proactively, but if he doesn't have a Tribute to Hunger there and he just plays a creature as a blocker, you still have the Selesnya Charm to pump and get it over the top anyway.